China attempting to annex the moon. Your loved ones are in peril. What risk did Elon Musk foresee when he issued this warning about China and Russia? What types of weapons will these nations employ, or do they potentially signify something different? To understand more and to subscribe to our channel, watch our video through to the conclusion. According to reports, Elon Musk has been warning for a while about the threat that artificial intelligence, specifically, poses to people. According to one definition, it is an artificially created system that can solve creative problems, is capable of self-development, self-building, and self-improvement itself, and is kind in principle. The concept of artificial intelligence itself is more of a philosophical one, so you won't see it in big headlines anytime soon. Elon Musk is confident that it is much more dangerous than nuclear weapons, and I agree. Artificial intelligence, AI, is a major threat that our civilization will eventually face. Musk first discussed AI as a threat back in 2014, and later he said that the main danger is that this technology belongs to large corporations. In 2020, Musk expressed concerns about this in connection with the development of the DeepMind, which is owned by Google. Musk believes that in 5 years, AI will surpass humans, and the effects of this can be the most severe. This is the plot of the war games, which is so disastrous that the very nature of the artificial intelligence they construct is one of those that kill everyone in all games. How hazardous is artificial intelligence? Mankind has already achieved many of its fantasies, such as pocket computers, self-driving cars, virtual reality, and space travel, and as artificial intelligence is increasingly being used, humanity is steadily erasing the barriers to these desires. Limits of science fiction and fantasy through contemporary study and technology. Artificial intelligence, also referred to as artificial intelligence or AI from here on, is currently a promising area of research that many businesses are concentrating on. This branch of science studies the operation of hardware and software components, specifically their intellectual behavior. Rather than receiving information from the user, these machines learn on their own and get smarter. The People's Republic of China has adopted a strategic state program for the development of artificial intelligence, AI, until 2030. Its implementation is ensured by large-scale government funding as well as funds from private technology companies closely associated with the program. According to the level of development of AI technologies, China is currently in second place after the United States and intends to become the undisputed world leader in this field in 10 years. From Beijing's perspective, the Chinese government believes that AI technologies will dominate the growth of the country's economy over the coming 10 years and give China a distinct advantage in capturing new markets in the global labor market. Additionally, Beijing views AI technology development as a crucial domestic political task because it forms the cornerstone of the social control system that was developed in China. The trust system was created to guarantee socio-political stability and the Communist Party of China (CPC's) continued rule. Finally, China uses artificial intelligence as a foundation for creating competitive advantages in the military technological sphere. Large AI projects are being undertaken in Russia, and large corporations are the industry's main drivers of investment. Spare plans to invest about $2 billion in artificial intelligence. In the next 4 years, artificial intelligence is expected to generate approximately $6 billion in revenue, but the military is also working on AI. The development of artificial intelligence technologies has recently attracted the attention of the world's top armies, and the Russian armed forces are no exception. Our science and industry are also doing pertinent research on their behalf, and several projects have already been completed, while others are still in the early phases but have already established promise. Some projects have been finished and their results are being used in practice. Over the past few years, the senior leadership of the country's armed forces has often brought up the issue of such advancements, the necessity of implementing such programs, and their importance for the development of military equipment and the army as a whole. It was highlighted that the defense was very crucial. The President, the head of the Ministry of Defense, and representatives of the defense industry participated in a recent meeting where these issues were last discussed. In this meeting, the head of state emphasized the need to develop promising robotic systems with artificial intelligence, AI, and a greater degree of autonomy. This technology should be used in the cockpits of unmanned aircraft. It should be noted that autonomous uninhabited underwater complexes can be useful not only in the field of UAVs and ONPA with its use. It is possible to create contemporary highly efficient ground or surface RDCS for various purposes and new samples of high-precision weapons. Additionally, I can find application in the onboard equipment of military equipment and the means of command and control of troops. In these cases it will take over part of the calculations and lessen the burden on a person. All such options shouldn't be limited to the realm of broad concepts. Various scientific and design companies do research and create actual goods for a variety of reasons using artificial intelligence in one way or another. A new generation of artificial intelligence AI systems has been successfully developed in Russia, with some of these prototypes currently being used in the military and others expected shortly. China is currently putting the first equipment samples outfitted with these tools into service, and other advancements that will soon be used by the army are also being tested. This work is being done in various fields for the benefit of the ground forces, Navy, and Air Force. In addition to massive organized financial infusions into the sector, the PRC's greatest advantage in the global fight for supremacy in the field of artificial intelligence is the enormous Chinese users' data generation rate. The degree of human capital development to raise its quality, in the eyes of the Chinese authorities, is the weakest point. China prioritizes local staff training and international cooperation and promotes international scientific and technology exchanges, particularly with the United States. China exhibits similar behavior to other key players like the United States. US and Russian China, like other participants, are taking part in a worldwide discussion on limitations for lethal autonomous systems at the UN. To strengthen and expand its competitive advantages in this field, Beijing believes that international regulation of the military use of AI and the development of SAS is premature. At the same time, PRC officials support the prohibition of CIS, although, in addition to the military component of international AI legislation, only those that are completely autonomous and do not require human input at any level of application on the websites of international organizations like the International Organization for Standardization. China is actively attempting to engage in the formulation of civilian standards for the use of artificial intelligence. There are terrifying ideas about how artificial intelligence will eradicate humans. Although not unusual, Elon Musk, the inventor and CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, appears to be on target with his prediction. Musk acknowledged that he is more concerned about the advancement of artificial intelligence, AI. I work with the most cutting-edge breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, and I won't stop urging caution, the entrepreneur added, but until people witness killer robots roaming the streets, they won't know how to react to the threat, which appears fleeting. According to them, he is convinced that the unintentional caused annihilation of society is a very real possibility and that the state's responsibility in preventing it must be divided into 4 categories of danger. 1. Programmatic hostility is one situation in which artificial intelligence, AI, poses a risk since it may be purposefully designed to be hostile, for instance by the military or a terrorist organization to further their objectives. What if artificial intelligence calculations show that the only way to achieve the goal is to destroy all people? It is entirely possible that this could prompt him to start a war with humanity. This is another scenario of hostile artificial intelligence that involves a mismatch of global goals and his inhumanity. AI's lack of humanity makes it difficult to negotiate with him about his top priorities, which is the main issue. Will be to complete the mission at any cost, therefore the conflict will continue until all human resistance is crushed. 2. Uninvolved dangers. When AI prioritizes kindness, there is no risk of passive harm, but when AI does not prioritize friendliness, there is nearly always a risk. Because it does not consider human safety in the same way that people do, passive AI can be dangerous. For instance, consider an eye without goals. 3. Accidental risks. Artificial intelligence working with incomplete data is capable of making mistakes, just like a human mistake of this kind is almost inevitable because it is impossible to know everything about everything in the world. This AI will process the field even if it knows that there are people on the field at that moment. However, in the real world, this risk is the least serious because artificial intelligence may learn from its mistakes and improve itself and become safer. What do you think about this? Post your thoughts in the comments section below the video and follow the channel to be updated on fascinating news.